afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, February 21, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. We will be having a Time for Change call this Wednesday on this line at 9 p.m. Eastern. At the core of our being is a quiet, calm energy that is as deep and peaceful as the ocean. When you relax, rest inside, take time to simply dive beneath the ripples of thought, you are able to glide through your day. Approach consciousness with reverence. Take a deep breath and relax into the gentle, ever-pervading mystery that is you. The moment you discover true peace with your life, exactly as it is showing up for you, you have truly mastered your life. The moment you discover true peace with your life, exactly as it is showing up for you, you have truly mastered your life. You are not this mind, these thoughts, these emotions, or this body. All these things will one day be gone. You are the soul, an eternal expression of light. Get to know this divine connection inside. Pure consciousness is utterly peaceful, and this is who and what you truly are. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. He to whom this emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead. His eyes are closed. Albert Einstein. The greatest failure we can make in life is to ignore our personal relationship with God. Whatever God is for you, however you define God, your success or failure, or knowing and unknowing, as a human being, ultimately comes down to your innermost relationship with divinity. How do you experience this perfect, all-loving, divine, universal, intelligent source? Do you believe that if you cannot see it, then it isn't real? Do you really believe that? Do any of us believe that if we cannot see it, then it isn't real? Take this moment to explore and examine what your relationship with divinity is like. Perhaps the most ignorant and arrogant actions a human being can make is to remain busy in this world and never contemplate on the divine. When someone reserves their relationship with God for the occasional religious Sunday event and believes a personal dialogue with God is reserved only for the priest, then that person remains powerless and impotent in their life. If a man doesn't make it a priority to intimately connect with the divine, he cannot know his true unlimited potentiality and deeply relax into the divine being he actually is. Whenever egoic achievements, gratification, and success become more important, whenever egoic achievements, gratification, and success become more important than your relationship with the divine, a feeling of struggle, emptiness, and failure will eventually arise. This unhappy lost feeling is often followed with the attempt to fill oneself with things of material world. Food, mobile phones, TV, drugs, alcohol, sex, and materialism are just a few examples of the million and one interesting distractions which ultimately never fill up this deep, dark hole inside. It's not that the actual addictive substance is lacking in divine energy. It's the unconscious approach to using it and where the intention is coming from, which makes one miss out on their own personal sacred connection. The God source is here now and can be found through anything or anyone. If someone is connected with a deep soul intention to meet the divine today, then that purpose will be fulfilled. Without a connection to your true center, the core of your being, you cannot find God at all or in all. Once we have lost our connection with our center, we can only wander through life on a perpetual blind search for something that never satisfies. The mind can never get enough of what doesn't satisfy. It is a grasping, seeking, and searching hunt for more. As long as we have forgotten our flashlight of awareness and our true treasure map of understanding, we cannot relax into our center to find the God source is here now. But letting go of the perpetual need for something in the external world, we are able to free fall into our innermost being and discover this sacred intimacy with the divine. After boarding a bus or train, you won't carry the luggage, will you? You will put it down. Likewise, surrender everything to God. He will protect you. Have the thought that God is near you. If there is a place to rest nearby, the mere thought of unloading the luggage which we are carrying lessens the weight of the burden. If we think that there is no place to rest, then the baggage seems heavier. In the same way, when we think that God is near, all our burdens diminish. Amma. Just so you know, what we're discussing here is not only to remind us of what we already inherently know, but to jumpstart our hearts to get curious over what our relationships with God actually are. Once we begin to devote time to pondering over our divine connection, what it does to you, gives you, and means to you, then you're halfway home. The last part of the journey is opening up yourself, surrendering your life to this moment, so that you become that sacred temple or the divine to enter. When you simply open a gap in the window for a small breeze to blow through, the greatest spring fresh air can slowly fill the entire room. And in our lives, there has been nothing more satisfying and fulfilling than creating a personal relationship with the divine. This relationship has fluctuated through the years, sometimes becoming extremely potent and real, other times lacking any intimate connection at all. When you make this divine relationship more important than any personal relationship in your life, then a magical sensation starts arising inside you. You step outside the confines of human suffering, and you realize how easy it is for this life to be filled with devotion, love, peace, and a heart overflowing with sweetness. Intimacy with God is just like creating intimacy with anyone. To experience real intimacy with another being, you first have to be willing to let your guard down and be fully seen. There is a point of realization that naturally happens on the inward journey where it's harder to remain in hiding than it is to be exposed and naked out in the open. When you know you cannot hide from people anymore, and you know that hiding defeats the reason behind why you are here, the divine experience tends to find a way into our lives. When we realize that stepping out from that area where we've been hiding is the most exhilarating experience of them all, then every substance on our addiction list becomes boring and secondary. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. One cannot help but to be in awe when he contemplates the mysteries of eternity, of life, of the marvelous structure of reality. It is enough if one tries merely to comprehend a little of this mystery every day. Never lose a holy curiosity. Albert Einstein. God is not a commodity. It is not something that you can order up and have delivered at your doorstep right when you need it. Most people don't turn to God until life gets really rough. When someone close dies, or they experience a great loss, major confusion, or deep emotional challenge, then they turn to God for help. The truth is that God was always listening and was never not present the entire time. God knew the very moment you were about to beg for help and exactly what you would be asking for. Feeling into the reality of this divine insatiable presence is where the first step towards intimacy actually begins. When we realize that this presence is omnipresent and that it cannot leave us, even if for a moment, then we simply surrender to it. And the deep healing, understanding that we are never alone. If you could only keep quiet, clear of memories and expectations, you would be able to discern the beautiful pattern of events. It is your restlessness that causes chaos. Nisargadatta Maharaj. Perhaps the deepest secret or unknown to creating intimacy with God is knowing that no matter where you are or what you're doing, the divine is always present. The most loving, caring, conscious, all-powerful essence is loving each of us right now. When we let this experience in, we cannot help but to feel an intimate sense of gratitude towards our lives and feel this all-pervading love is everywhere we are. You can feel that your heart starts to soften and the mind begins to relax. When you know the divine is present right now, doing everything it can to deeply care for you in this life, relaxing into the feeling that the divine is always here, helping you reach your soul's ultimate destination, becomes your gateway towards finding this intimate connection. So for today, the invitation for everyone is to simply relax, be still, soften into your very core essence that is beyond your thoughts, words, concepts about what God is. Be very, very, very still within yourself. Rest deep inside. Know within your very core you are this God source. There is something so sweet, healing, and truly divine happens the moment you trust this relaxation process. Your essential nature is so exquisite, beautiful, and easy to reach. If anyone in life tells you that you are not the divine, turn around and silently walk away. Know that you are this truly magnificent being. And it is the purpose of your life to know this truth deeply, intimately, and in your heart of hearts. No matter what any negative mind believes or says, who you truly are is always far beyond any idea of what the most supreme being out there is. We are all the divine essence itself. The more we can relax into this truth, the more amazing and juicy our lives will become. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. And I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we all care to do is relax our bodies, head to toe, inside and out. And we know that we are not the body, the character, the personality, the name, the clothes, everything. We know we are the God, the kingdom of God, the heaven within the body. So by focusing on our breath, we relax the body. You know why? Because we move into the now. Our breath is the now. So when you're focusing on your breath, anywhere, anytime, you're in the now. And what does the now do for us, with us? It stills the ego mind and subconscious mind. We leave them alone. We do not entertain mind, ego mind. We do not entertain subconscious mind. We just are in the now. And every breath we take within and through the nose, out through the mouth, focuses us on the now. We have no mind chatter. We have all of these incessant thoughts, tens of millions of them, flying by like clouds in the sky, which aren't ours. 60,000 plus thoughts that we project out to the universe. All that stills. And this is the beginning step to going within and meeting the God that you are. Now, in this material, physical life, these bodies, the body is like a magnetic sponge. And it absorbs everything that the ego mind conjure up, every thought that you think is yours, everything. And it absorbs it. Worry, stress, fear, all thoughts, right? All thoughts that we give power to. Anger, frustration, revenge, vindictiveness, all kinds of things. And the body absorbs them. This is why stress is the number one destroyer of these vessels on this planet. Now, does it make any sense for any of us to want to stay in the ego mind? I don't believe so. See, we have this endless journey of the gods that we are. Sure, the physical ends sooner or later, one time, shape, form, or another. 1,000 years, 10,000 years. And then we continue to the next journey. And they're all connected, so the journey is endless. So when you relax your body, the body you're in, and you're leaving the ego mind alone, all of this stuff, goop, melts away. And the body feels a lot lighter. And because you're not entertaining the ego mind, the subconscious mind, then none of this is being conjured up. Where's the worry, stress, and fear? There isn't any. As long as you go within to seek the God, the true God that you are, all of that other stuff is not going to be there because you're not entertaining it. The frequency. Once we become focused on the now, each moment to moment, it is the frequency that we choose to project ourselves into. And this is the prime, it's the primer to determine how we are going to exist. Now, if your frequency, how you feel, how you think, is the main culprit to how you're going to be and how your life is going to be. So if you're in a tug of war where most of the time you're flipping over with the ego mind, worry, stress, fear, anxiety, immediately become defensive and alarmed at certain things that come into your life, what do you think happens? And this isn't complicated for any of us. What happens, and we're so used to doing this, that's another thing. We're so used to unconsciously attract things to us that the universe sends us because of our frequency. It's all about that. What do you think the God is? Frequency. And so you get angry, you drop your vibrational frequency. It's automatic. What happens when you do this? You get more of it, whatever it may be. So you get angry, upset, revengeful, vindictive. What do you think happens to you? Not the one you're projecting that onto. What do you think happens to you? Your vibrational frequency drops. You open the door to lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. Like attracts like. There's no argument there. It's the supreme universal law in all existence. And since we're particles of the one, we can't avoid it. The only way you can do it is to keep your vibrational frequency high, knowingly, and because you want to. Because once you get a taste of higher vibrational frequency, you are not going to care to go back to the lower vibrational dark matter frequencies. And when we say lower vibrational, then it gets into the habit of going into dark, lower vibrational frequencies. And some of us will drop down more and more and more. And it's not like we're doing it on purpose. We just are in the habit of doing it. We've all met people, other parts of ourselves, the God's within them, but the people who rant and rave how rotten their lives are, and they don't understand why. Conversations happen on this planet every day. How come you seem to have all the good stuff and I seem to have all the bad stuff? Why is that? Because of your vibrational frequency, how you view things, what you think, how you feel. Everything that any of us could ever ask for, ever, we have within us. We have an abundant universe that's constantly sending a stream of massive abundance, 24/7, infinity and beyond. We just lower our frequencies to the point where we drop below it. Then we receive, the universe says, well, this person here is not wanting this and not wanting that, so I'll send it to them. Or this person here figures, you have some people that try to do the reverse psychology. Well, if I think low enough, bad enough, the opposite will happen. And that's a real trick there, because that's totally wrong. It's what we intend for ourselves that takes place, whether consciously or unconsciously. Why do people get attachments? Why are they invaded? Because they lower their vibrational frequencies. It's the only reason. This whole journey is about us discovering who and what we are, so that we move ourselves intentionally, move ourselves out of the physical material world into the God world within us. It's a choice. So it's relaxing, being still, softening into your very core essence. And this essence is beyond our thoughts, beyond our words and concepts about what God truly is. The more we can relax into this truth, the more amazing and juicy our life will become. We're receiving a divine perfection roadmap, script, if you will. And we can choose to follow it or not. And we know the outcome to each one. What are the ramifications if we don't follow it? Continued disruption of life, unhappiness, suffering, disappointment, worry, stress, fear. Now, when you look into that body that you're in, and you see 7 lights, now, what are they? They go from the tailbone to the top of the head. What are these 7 lights? They're spirit etheric energy. The gods that we are in these bodies are spirit etheric energy. So we flow through the body. 24/7, infinity and beyond. So the gods that we are in these bodies know everything there is to know about these bodies, right down to the quantum quark. All the blood flow, the muscles, everything. What the body needs, what it doesn't need. Motions, everything. So as we rediscover the gods that we are within these bodies, eventually we will know emphatically, with no doubt and total trust, that we can heal these bodies in a blink of the eye. Now, there are some people on this planet that have healed the worst of the worst dis-ease themselves, but not in the blink of the eye. Not yet. But the fact is that they've done it. Now, we all have memories, right? And we all reminisce, and some of us go in the past, some of us go in the future. But picture something in front of you. There's 3 pads, golden pads, circles. One on the left is the past, one in the center that you're standing on is the now, and the one on the right is the future, right? Now, the only thing you notice about all 3 of these paths is that the one you're standing on, it just is pristine. It looks brand new. But the one on the left, the past, looks very worn, and the one on the right, the future, looks very worn. The paths are identical, pretty much. You've got trees that have formed a canopy. They're all golden, shimmering trees, the leaves, the bark, everything. And the path is a blazing emerald green flaming grass. It appears to be grass. Now, when we reminisce, none of us are exempt from it. We reminisce and go over when we've experienced certain things in our past that were fun, enjoyable. Even some that weren't so fun, enjoyable. And then it's like we have a library. And the library is our personal library. It's our subconscious mind. Subconscious mind, it copies everything, reflects everything the ego mind generates. Not only that, it reflects and copies everything throughout the times you've been in that baby body to full-grown body. Everything, all the people talking, all of the impressions, all of the attitudes, all of the ideas, that's in that library. Past lives and future lives are also in that library. So what we do is we open the door, turn on the lights, we grab a few movies, a couple of books and some pictures, and then we sit in our easy chair and we watch and reminisce. It's fun. It's, that's a fun thing to do. But when we're done, we put everything away, we turn the light off, we shut the door, and we move forward. We're always moving forward in this life. Some of us, and I don't believe that it's conscious, I believe it's unconscious. Some of us will go in that library, that past, right? And we stay there so long that we end up bringing it into a future that doesn't exist. We create that future from that past, and we relive that past and that future. This is why a lot of people will say no matter what we do, we always end up here. Now, all of us go into the future because we want to know things, right? We're curious beings, so we want to know things. What do we want to know? Well, we don't know that the future is created in the now, right? So we go into this future, we call it, and we ask ourselves, when is this going to happen? When is that going to happen? When am I going to be well enough to enjoy my life? When am I going to be wealthy enough to enjoy my life? When am I going to meet my lifelong romantic partner? All of these things that we're asking questions. I wonder what would happen when this happens, or if this happens. How are things going to be when this happens or that happens? Now, when we do that, we seek external authority to tell us when these things will take place, to tell us when they'll take place. External authorities, you got to be very careful because you believe what someone tells you, you're going to start creating it. But the thing is, it happens is the ego mind intervenes and the impatience for something, which none of us are exempt from. We get impatient. We get expectations. We start developing attachments for a particular outcome that we want to have happen in our lives. And then when it doesn't, what are we doing? We're suffering. Disappointment. Dissatisfaction. So the now, quite frankly, is all that any of us have. It's the now. The now is the gateway to the God within each and every one of us. The now is to complete relax the body, head to toe, inside now. The breath is our guide. The now is what we have. Everything occurs and happens in the now. Your choice is this: to continually entertain tens of millions of thoughts that aren't yours, flying by like clouds in the sky, to continually entertain the mind chatter, the ego mind, all of that, or to be in peace by being in the now, by quieting oneself, to becoming still and being, doing nothing, being. We're taught in this life, and all the lives this civilization have been involved with, you got to do. You got to keep doing. Got to keep going. Got to keep doing. Got to get this done. Got to get that done. And feeling guilty when you do nothing. Feeling guilty that you're doing nothing. What is the ego mind? It's pretty much summed up in a nutshell. Fear of poverty, fear of wealth, fear of good health, fear of ill health, fear of living, fear of dying. There's fear of everything. That's the ego mind. Insecure, constantly fearing everything. That's where all these fears come from. And on top of it, we get attached to these bodies so deeply and lose our understanding of the gods that we are within them that we fear even more. We fear of what? Leaving the body. We fear leaving the body. We fear staying in the body. We fear happiness. We fear sadness. It's everything we fear. That's the ego mind. The God mind within us is the opposite. That's how you view it. You choose to view it anyway. But think about it. The God mind or the ego mind? The God mind is total freedom. You have no fear. You know who and what you are. You stay there. Your intimate relationship with the God that you are deepens. See the difference? Feel it. It's huge. Now, every one of us is God. We make up the one God. And we are the heaven. People have been taught that heaven is a place. It isn't. You are the heaven. You are the kingdom of God. You are the divine perfection. And understand this is coming from the heart mind, not the head, not the ego mind, not the suffering. So when our souls enter these bodies, we are heaven on earth. The soul, heaven, the body, earth. And we're consciously aware. What does that mean? We know that we are of and from the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. And we know that we're heaven on earth. Literally. And we know that every step we take, we're creating paradise. Every step we take, we're creating paradise. Not only that, we're shining our light. The light is the love that we're made of, the God's within these bodies, the pure consciousness. And that light saturates and permeates and floods all life, the highest supreme value in the universes. And you can flood that light 24/7 knowingly. You can walk into a crowd and say, or you could be sitting on a park bench, or you could be in a restaurant, or you could just be sitting at home in your neighborhood. And you could say, I'm going to flood everyone around me with the love that I am. You don't have to go yell down the street or announce it to anybody. You can do it whenever you choose to do it. You're not going to lose anything. You're not going to deplete your energy. Now, some of us may, in this particular lifetime, we've had thousands of them, we may discover for ourselves, when we choose, that when we decide to leave these bodies and we go out into the darkness of sacred space, we are the light. It is a fact. So when we have another light chase us, that is not the light. That is the matrix trap. This is part of the place of discovery. Maitreya discovered it. Buddha discovered it. Lao Tzu discovered it. And others that did not get the notoriety. If you were to take a starship and go off this planet far enough where you saw its total circumference, you would see that it glowed. I mean, for goodness sakes, we've got 8 billion of us in humanoid form, gods, whether we consciously are aware of that or not, and we are glowing the light, the kingdom of God within the body. And what is that glow? Love. Now, we haven't really given it attention much, is that all of the other physical forms that gods are housing to experience those physical forms. So you would look at the lights around this planet, in this universe, and they would pale in comparison. They would almost look like a lit candle in a dark room. Dim, dim, dim. Now we know that we have parts of ourselves that are awake to a certain extent, other parts that aren't. We love them just as deeply and dearly as the parts of us that are awake. They don't participate because they're asleep. And then they will determine when they are ready to awaken. They're with us. Now, the ones that are awake, obviously, it doesn't matter if 1,000 billion light years away, there's no separation. We're one. We always have been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. That's the illusion, the separation. So this is the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes. Ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Morya, Abundantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth. All the off-worlders, galactics, and celestials. All the light energy beings. Now, on this planet, because of the eyes we have with these bodies, we only see 1% of what is. We don't see the light energy beings who come in different shapes, color, sizes, forms, and configurations, and the different light spectrum. Violet, ultraviolet, there's different shades of the light spectrum. Red, infrared, blue, ultra blue, green, ultra green, but they're there. Now, there is a small group, and part of that group, these bodies are very, very dependent on. The fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the magics, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, and the minotaur. Now ask yourself this. Can that body that you're housed in sustain itself without air, water, fire, earth, ether, wood? No. You see the intimate connection these bodies have with the elementals? Now, the archangels, they're a civilization that vibrate at a different frequency than we do. That's why we don't see them like we see each other. The gods within them are no different than the gods within us. We love them deeply and dearly as they love us deeply and dearly. Now, we meet with them. Through thousands of lifetimes we've been meeting with them. Random, unexpected, with no attachments. And it could be a brief encounter. It could be a long-term encounter. It just depends. And you can be walking somewhere, interacting with somebody, complete stranger, and for some reason, after you've interacted with them, something from your heart comes through, and you say to yourself, that didn't feel like just a regular conversation. That had to have been an angel. And you'll know because you'll feel the bliss within you bubble up. They have a message that they've been delivering to us for eons. And they deliver it in many, many, many different ways. But what it really is that, isn't it absolutely magna glorious, splendiferous, fantastic, stupendous, marvelous, joyous to be alive in these bodies? And yes, it is. You see, when we enter these bodies, we don't have a memory. We don't have it. And so we have insomnia. And so we take these bodies for granted. You ever seen a baby? And watch the baby as it starts discovering that the God within it starts discovering that it has hands. You ever notice that? How many times have you seen babies just look at their hands and touch their fingers in amazement? Or their feet in amazement? And everything around them is amazing. And it goes on that way for quite some time until about 7 years old. Why don't we do that now? When you look at your fingers, they're amazing. All the things they do. When you look at your toes, they're amazing. All the things that they do. Your feet, your hair, your eyes, your teeth, everything is amazing. Because when you leave that body, when you decide to leave that body, that day eventually will come. You know, that memory of being in the body fades quickly. See, so you don't remember. It's like, but these bodies are very enticing to us, seductive, because we want to experience physical life. As the gods that we are, we don't sleep, we don't eat, we don't drink, we don't make love, we don't kiss, we don't hold hands, we don't laugh, we don't cry, we don't see like we see through these eyes and these bodies. You imagine that? None of it. None. So that is so important that each of us stay in gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness with ourselves every second of our existence in these bodies. And staying and practicing of being in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude. So whenever you find yourself floating off, and thoughts, right? Thoughts that you may have that aren't yours, and you're out of the now. It's real simple. Focus on your breath and you'll be in the now. Now, the archangels, they can surround any one of us at any one time in the tens of thousands or tens of millions. Reason is their vibrational frequency. They can hold a large number in a small area. And if you would like them to, ask them, and within the blink of the eye, they will surround you, and you will be in bliss. Now, the Ascended Masters, they've ascended into physical. They have mastered physical form. They have ascended out of physical form. They hold pure consciousness, God form. Now, the galactics, off-worlders, and celestials, over 1,000 civilizations and species travel through this solar system of over 170 planets. every day. Trillions throughout the universes every day. We're familiar with a small group. Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Felines, Zeta Reticuli, Anunnaki, Nords, Greys, Draco, Reptilian, Golden Pyramid, Avian. This particular group has been assisting us in our evolution, enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. Now, we have ascended into physical form. We are in the process of mastering physical form. We are creating our experiences to perfect our creations. And we're all gathered. Some conscious, some not. Still, all one, in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one, and we're all God, and we're all love. And our God force love light energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. And it continues to grow, intensify, and expand. We immediately form a circle of white fire light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This white fire light circle comes from the gods that we are within these bodies. Pure love. And it floods this planet, as it's doing right now, 24/7, infinity and beyond. And it saturates all life, the highest supreme value in the universes. The lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies are being eliminated only because that we've chosen as a collective consciousness to increase our vibrational frequency to the point where they cannot exist in our presence. This is a full liberation of this planet. Hundreds of millions of us, on and off world, for over 4 years, meditating every day, 7 days a week, sometimes more than once a day, for the complete liberation of this planet. Now, the total number of us is in the gigaplexes. 1 gigaplex fills this universe without 1 square inch of sacred space to spare. These are trillions of gigaplexes from trillions of universes in trillions of directions. We begin to ascend above the planet. As we do, we are met with this massive ocean of glitter. Now, it's not like an ocean of glitter you would see on this planet. Way beyond that. The best way we can describe it is if we were to put together a massive grand finale fireworks display that nothing has ever come close to on this planet, and a massive laser light show display along with this ballroom mirror globe. Remember those? They turn slow, they reflect all the light. Except this one is 1 trillion times larger and 1 trillion times more intense. Now, if you were to combine all that and watch through your heart, mind's motion picture, and one massive crescendo, that would be about as close as we get to describing the ocean of glitter. Now, we're curious, so we seek out the reflective points of this ocean of glitter. And as we get closer, we discover these little tiny microscopic, perfectly edged mirrors. So we enter them. And we discover that all of us, all of the forms that we inhabit to experience physical life, are teaching and learning from each other, moment to moment. We're students, teachers, students, or both. We teach ourselves, we learn from ourselves and others. You could watch a tree in a park and learn something. You could watch a bug in the rug and learn something. And that bug learns from you. The God is life, not the physical form. We were taught that the tree is life. It's actually the God that enters the tree to experience the physical form of the tree, gives the tree life. And what is that? Well, we have the planet, we have the soil. It's like the mother's umbilical cord. And then the umbilical cord is what? Removed. God enters that physical form, powers it up, generates the nutrition and nurturing from the soil. The planet's God, soul, assists. We're all one. And we're all learning. Always. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all, the gods that we are within these bodies, that we are the power of healing. We are then met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that we created, the gods that we are within these bodies, to remind us of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire light. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are protected. 24/7, infinity and beyond, always. Now, this white fire armor that we're imbued with, nothing like the armor on this planet, way beyond that, emanates from what? The God force, love, light energy, the pure, deep, eternal love within each and every one of us. The frequency is so high, it is the highest, that the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies cannot come near us. They know it. They'll vaporize, so they stay away. So there's no demon possession or lower dark matter, survival matter frequency invasion. Ever. Yet, only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency, whether consciously or unconsciously, through hatred, anger, greed, envy, hurriedness, jealousy, worry, stress, fear, dishonesty, manipulation, you will create a breach in your white fire armor, enough so to allow all lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Then there's all kinds of possibilities, demon possession, attachments, on and on. Now, if you do decide to do this, you are immediately met with a double column of light. First part of this column is the purple transmuting flame. We created this part of the column of light to remind all of us that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they're no more. Then we're met with the other part of this column of light, the violet ray. We created this part of the column of light to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony to the highest of the highest high, deepest to the deepest deepest, purest to the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is a column of light that we created, all of the gods that we are within these bodies, to remind us all that we are the sun, the sunlight. We are the sunsets and the sunrises. We are the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams. We are the trees, the forests, the soils, all of the animals. We are the skies and the clouds, the rainbow and the rain. We're everything. Everything is us. So the next time you see a sunset, or sunrise, or an ocean front, or a mountain view, or a starry-lit night sky, when you see it, we've been taught to think that it's separate. So we look at it and say, isn't that beautiful? Try it, though. Through the heart-mind, next time you see any of these wonderful creations, that is the God that I am. That is the God that I am. And it's a whole different feeling through the heart-mind. Not the head, not the ego-mind, through the heart-mind. We continue to ascend above the planet. And as we do, some of us step outside our physical form and hover effortlessly above it if we're carrying physical form. Why do we do that? Well, number one, it's funny. Number two, we can. We have a good time. We enjoy ourselves. We come into full contact with this massive crystalline light tower. This tower is larger than the solar system and beyond. We created this tower. In the center of the column, we see this massive oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere, we see this golden white bowl of light. And the golden white bowl of light is surrounded by numerous rings, multicolored rings of light. And they seem to go infinity and beyond. They've created this super white misty cloud that sparkle electrical flashes. And it's absorbed through our heart minds. And it's like a warm embrace that never ends. We discovered that the golden white bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest, and the purest, eternal love. Then comes well-being, gratitude, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, massive and tremendous prosperity, massive and tremendous abundance. We see at the top, we designed a column so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, 24/7, infinity and beyond, as it's doing right now. What is the golden ocean? It is the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, purest of the purest, eternal love. And it is flooding, saturating, and permeating all life on this planet, on it, in it, above it, and below it, infinity and beyond. Nothing can escape it. We are drops of this golden ocean, and the golden ocean is the drops. We also hold the essence of this golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere. It's that center circle. We all created this sphere over 4 years ago. It holds over 1,800 of our meditations in perpetual motion every day, 7 days a week, for over 4 years. All these meditations directed to one thing: complete liberation of planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now. Hundreds of millions of us on and off world, awake to a certain extent. That's why this sphere can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And that's why it continues to grow, intensify, and expand. We can dip into this anytime we choose by moving into silence and stillness every single time. We are always having an experience. Choose to be present to the one that's happening now. If you're demanding to have an experience, you're squeezing out this one and actually missing it. The moment you stop trying to make something big happen, it happens to you. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose, an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly, or be still. Stay present to consciousness. Thinking all the time is not being conscious, if you can fathom that. Just take time to just be present to your body, to your breath, to your life. Your body is your home, not your head. So keep dropping down out of your head and into your heart. Do not participate in the drama of the mind. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and following morning, and we will return here Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.